hospital, the nurse refused to attend to him. So they told her that he's the son of the deputy director of nursing. Upon hearing that, she was now asking for identification. Meanwhile, all this while, like my friend was having the attack, they called his mom, and his mom came and was attending to her son. At some point, his body stopped getting cold and was getting warm, but tried like they were resuscitating him. One of the nurses that was there started telling the woman that she should not bother, her son is dead. Started dragging her out to stop her from attending to the son.
Another friend alleges foul play.
And now the thing is, even without having to speak to them, there are already very plenty differences, because what he's saying now is the information that he got was that the patient was brought in dead, and categorically we are telling you that that's not what happened. That is absolutely not what happened. The time of death from the coroner's office says 6:02. The patient was brought in around 4. If the patient was brought in around 4 and the time of death is 6:02, you do the deduction yourself.
Also, a neighbor of the deceased said the nurses did not attend to them when they arrived until they were told he was a son of one of their staff.
I was asleep when I was hearing noise, so I rushed down only to see Yemi gasping for breath. So we tried to do our best, but we saw that this thing was beyond us, so we had to rush him down to the hospital. So when we got there, at first somebody just came, pointed touch at him, and just left us like that. So we had to tell them that this person, the mother works here. That was when they came back, and it took about 15 to 20 minutes before they came back and put it inside the wheelchair. But they just came, concluded that he's dead, and we are feeling the pulse was still, there.
Responding to this, Chairman of the Medical Advisory Committee, UPTH, Lucky Onotai, said the report he got was that the patient was brought in dead on arrival.
A few hours ago, I got a call from the head of nursing who told me that there is a particular patient that was brought in dead into the emergency, and the story was that the student had an asthmatic attack while in his lodge, and the inhaler did not work. Before they could rush the student to the A&E, it was confirmed that he was already dead. So at that point, she got the report. She escalated it to me, and what I did was immediately to call the head of A&E, and he confirmed exactly what was reported.
Well, Professor Onotai also said the hospital will set up a panel to critically investigate the matter.
When you start massaging and resuscitating a patient, you press the tummy. You are forcing the fluid. Even you still see bleeding, you see tears and everything. You set up a panel of inquiry. That's definitely what anybody does. We need to look at the facts, we look at the reports, and look at it critically and deal with it in its own merit. Rest assured that here at an institution for fairness, equity and justice, everything will be done according to the rules.
Moving on now, residents of Abete 2 in Abeta, Ebubu community, Eleme local government area of Rivers State, say they now live in fear due to incessant attacks by herdsmen. Youth President of Ebubu community, Richard Dabo, tells our correspondent that over 5 persons have been killed by herdsmen in their farms in less than 1 month. Well, Mr. Dabo said the situation has affected economic activities in the area, as the people who are predominantly farmers can no longer access their farms due to fear of attack.
The situation there is bad. The little bit normalcy has been restored there, but the tension is still high. People are still afraid, but nobody has been able to understand the modus of the operation there. They also start person there. This other one now, the key two, after killing the 2 persons, they still machete another person after the few days interval. Very unconscious, and they took him to the clinic. And the security agency, everybody hands are tied. The security agency, because even when you call them, once they receive information that it's about the herdsmen, they feel very weak, very reluctant, as if it's one set of people that are above the law.
Well, the youth president of Ebubu community, Richard Dabo, also called on the security agencies to live up to their responsibility of protecting lives and property.
The security agencies should rise up to their responsibility now, because as a youth, if we decide to mobilize down there, it will not over well, and we don't want to take law into our hands. Or as a community, what we have been pushing to them is to keep crying to the government. They have protested down to Element Division Headquarters and Area Command. They have cried. Even the DSS are come and seen by themselves lifeless body on series of occasions that have been attacked.
But chairman of Miyetti Allah in Rivers State, Yao Musa, has denied the allegations, saying they have been living peacefully in the community for decades.
This LMA we did peace, I did 27 years with the LMA. And LMA people, they are good with us, we good with them. We too, we hear that story, and what we see for the paper is a quality. Maybe now some politicians go send them. We don't know about that one. We have a school for LMA, we enjoy LMA. LMA is our people. It's some lie people come in to one cause problem because they see it's a river state, they are peace place. Everybody come enjoy with them.
Rivers State Governor Nyesom Wike has again said the state is yet to decide on who to support in the 2023 presidential elections. Well, Governor Nyesom Wike said this during the commissioning of the Rutwoko-Iguruta Link Road. He urged the people of the state to vote in the candidates of the PDP for the governorship, National Assembly and State House of Assembly seats.
Vote for our governor, we need vote for our governor, we need vote for our senatorial candidate, we need vote for our House of Assembly candidate, we need vote for our assembly candidate. Then general one, I'll come and tell you where we'll vote.
Well, recall that the South-South PDP governors recently backed the PDP presidential candidate Atiku Abubakar and his running mate, Governor Ifeanyi Okowa. Meanwhile, the spokesman of the Atiku Okowa Campaign Council in Rivers State, Lelonunwi Bubasa, has described as deception the call by Governor Nyesom Wike on Rivers people to vote for only the PDP governorship, national and state House of Assembly candidates. But Dr. Nwibubasa said the party does not belong to the state.
So long as PDP is one, all candidates of PDP will be voted by all members of PDP. And so there is no discrepancy between candidates. It is a simple thing. We all need to be in one boat. That is treachery. That is dishonesty. Rivers State does not have any power on its own as a party. The party does not belong to the state. And so for even the state to hand over flags to candidates without the national is criminal in itself. And that's why we are calling on the people to turn away from such deception. We can't continue like that.
The candidate of the APC, Rivers State House of Assembly, Obiakpo Constituency 2, Chief Alex Willie, is commending Governor Nyesom Wike on the recent commissioning of the Nigerian Law School, Rumeme, Dr. Peter Ordili Cancer and Cardiovascular Disease Treatment Center, Rumokuta, and the Rume Precom flyover, which are sited within Obiakpo Constituency 2. In a statement, Mr. Wele said the commissioning of these projects by eminent Nigerians outside the PDP makes it clear that development and performance issues can and should be appreciated and applauded beyond political party lines and leanings. Mr. Wele also said it is his desire and prayer for the governor to finish well, to become a statesman and father figure to all Rivers people. He said the governor can do this by consciously creating an enabling environment for all to compete fairly for political positions in the state to enable a peaceful, united and prosperous Rivers State, which he said will guarantee the sustenance of his legacies. Still ahead, Court of Appeal sets aside judgments nullifying ADP, ADC candidates in Rivers State. Stay tuned.
Wow, it's here again.
What is it?
The annual regional camp meeting of the Apostolic Faith Church, Port Harcourt.
Theme:
Revive Thy Work, O Lord.
Featuring
Bible teachings, inspiring testimonies, power-packed revival services, and lots more.
Date:
3rd to 11th December 2020.
Welcome back to the major news on 92.3 Nigeria Info. The Court of Appeal in Port Harcourt has set aside 2 Federal High Court judgments that nullified the nominations of Action Democratic Party, ADP, and African Democratic Congress, ADC, House of Assembly candidates in Rivers State. The lead judge, Justice Gabriel Kolawole, while delivering his judgment on the two different appeals, granted the prayers of the State House of Assembly candidates. Well, Justice Kolawole said the lower court ordinarily should not have entertained the suit, and that the State House of Assembly candidates of the two political parties were validly nominated and could participate in the 2023 elections. Well, ADP will now field candidates for Emoha, Eleme, Boni, Omuma, and Oyibo. Well, recall that the Federal High Court, presided over by Justice Turaki Mohammed, had nullified the nomination of ADP 5 House of Assembly candidates and 7 ADC House of Assembly candidates after the PDP in Rivers State took them to court over non-compliance with the new Electoral Act. Well, PDP lawyer Dike Udinna spoke to correspondent Soibi Oruwari.
Until we get a copy of the judgment, then we will be able to in a position to advise our clients accordingly. So we have applied and we are waiting. Hopefully we'll get the judgment in the next couple of days. I'm not able to confirm that at this time because what they read was the introduction and then the conclusion. The conclusion was appeal fails and is dismissed. So nobody is able to say.
Also, lawyer to ADP Donald Otobo said the judgment has confirmed that democracy is at work in the state.
What the Court of Appeal decided that the People's Democratic Party does not have the locus or right to challenge the nomination of candidates of other parties because they are not participants in the other party's electoral or primary process. They don't have the right to be challenging the way another party's primaries were conducted, that they have no right to have instituted the defense, that even originally the suit that was filed at the trial court, they ought not to have filed it in the first place.
On his part, the chairman of ADP in Rivers State, Christian Kendrick, said the judgment is a win for Rivers people.
The judgment is not just for our party, but for the entire Rivers State, and most importantly, the other political parties who are going through the most difficult political time in Rivers State. We are very, very elated. We are reassured that the court is the only hope for the common man. So,
a Federal High Court, Abuja, has sentenced the Inspector General of Police, Usman Baba, to 3 months in prison for disobeying a court order. The judge, Justice Mobolaji Olajuwon, issued the order following a suit filed by a former police officer, Patrick Okoli, who claimed he was unlawfully and compulsorily retired from the Nigeria Police Force. But Justice Olajuwon said although the Police Service Commission recommended Okoli's reinstatement into the police force, a decision affirmed by the court, the IGP refused to comply with the order. In business, e-hailing cab drivers in Port Harcourt say the increase in the price of petrol is taking a toll on their business. Now, some of them told our correspondents their profit has reduced as e-hailing companies have refused to review the prices of rides.
The fuel hike to a large extent has made e-hailing business very unprofitable. And despite the hike in fuel price, the e-hailing companies have refused to review their prices. Customers paid the same amount of fare. E-hailing drivers have refused to put on their AC so that they can reduce fuel consumption. So if you want the AC, they will tell you to increase the price.
So as I speak to you, most of the boat drivers are not out because the only way boat drivers make money in Port Harcourt right now is offline trips, and those offline trips are those that truly understand that these people have a farm feed. If there's something they can do about the fuel price, please, it will save lots of people. Then for the boat, if they can increase their tariff, I don't know how they want to do it.
Well, recall that the E-Hailing Drivers and Partners Association threatened to stage a protest if there is no reduction in the price of petrol.
And now, we bring you news from around the world.
The Chinese ambassador to the UK, Zheng Zheguang, has been summoned to the Foreign Office for a meeting following the arrest of BBC journalist in Shanghai. Ed Lawrence was beaten and briefly detained while covering anti-government lockdown protests on Sunday, where the Chinese government said Mr. Lawrence had not voluntarily presented his press credentials. While footage shared widely on social media showed several police officers grabbing Mr. Lawrence and pinning him to the ground. And that's the news, but before we go, another look at the highlights of the story. On the news this evening, you heard that youths blocked UPTH gate over death of a popular social media influencer. Governor Wike says the state is yet to decide on who to support in the 2023 presidential elections. Court of Appeal has set aside judgments nullifying the ADP and ADC candidates in Rivers State. Abeta Ebubu residents in Eleme in Rivers State have raised alarm over herdsmen attacks. On the foreign scene, the UK has summoned Chinese ambassador over a journalist's arrest. The news was edited by Martha Okere. Cloudy weather in Port Harcourt this evening. Collect your PVC and vote. Your vote is your voice. I'm Constance Mega. Thank you for listening. Good evening.